I cannot love you more. I have always adored you. It is true. You did not realize it. How could you? I kept my adoration confined to something distant and something remote, always living in hope that one day I would be able to pour my adoration all over you. How long has this condition lasted for? I would suggest over 10 years. Yes, that long. It was when you first joined the company. We worked in separate departments, but I saw you arrive one day, and from that moment I felt this adoration for you. It was strong and powerful and flowed from deep inside of me. I knew in an instant what it was, and I just knew that I had to provide it to you. I had no idea when that opportunity might arise, when I might be in a position to furnish you with this potent and unending adoration. You did not know this, but I managed to copy your photograph off the company website, and I would lie on my bed or sit in a chair and stare at your picture, wondering when I would be able to provide you with what you deserve. I contemplated listening to you lying beside me and whispering my name, the sensation of your hand in mine, the delight in sharing experiences. This adoration has remained, churning and growing inside of me. I have sustained it and nurtured it for all this time. That surely shows just how powerful it is, and just how special you are to me. Yes. I know you had no idea. How could you? I kept it to myself, as I wanted to save it all for you. Of course, there have been others during those 10 years, but they were just practice for when I would be able to provide that adoration for you. I suppose I was fond of these supposedly significant others, but let's not you nor I delude ourselves. They came nowhere close to evoking the adoration that I have for you. I was not surprised. I understood that from the instant I laid eyes on you, that you were the one. I could not make my move, though, until I had tested myself. You see, I had been let down so many times before. I thought I knew and understood what true adoration was. I had been deceived by impostors, and found that they promised much, yet delivered so little. I did not doubt you, but I had to be sure. Accordingly, I kept my distance, adoring you from afar and pushing my resistance. Each day that passed where I denied myself the chance to give you my adoration was another day where I tested whether that adoration would remain intact, and it was. I came through the test. I asked many questions of myself, and I found that I was not wanting. This time was the reality. This was true and honest adoration, nothing more and nothing less. I realized as the months became years that the longer I waited, the surer I would become, and moreover, like a grand whisky maturing, the longer I waited, then the more powerful this adoration would be. I understood that to allow this adoration to grow and build, to test it, to determine whether it had any boundaries and shortcomings, would ultimately mean that I would be able to dispense adoration like nobody else could ever do so. I could give you what you deserved, and in return, you would provide me with what I wanted and needed. This may seem strange, but there almost came a point when I thought that perhaps I would never provide this adoration for you. I wondered and considered whether I would be better served by keeping it within myself, locking my adoration away, as I always wondered whether it would come undone after another day of waiting and testing. But then I realized that since I adored you so, I could keep this adoration hidden no longer. What person would I be if I did not provide you with the very thing which you deserve? I would be failing both you and I. Thus, that is why I made my move. There was nothing distinct which triggered this need to make my approach and provide you with this adoration. There was no catalyst, other than the realization that the time had come. There was nothing more to be gained in keeping this adoration confined to myself. I had to release it and lay it on you. I had to pour it over you, spilling over you and coating you. I needed to provide this most perfect adoration and allow you to bask in it, delight in, and know that this is what I will always provide to you. How can that now be the case? I have waited so long to give this to you that there can be no outcome other than this permanent state of adoration which will allow us to become one and preserve that state of affairs forever. 10 years may seem like a long time, but it is but a blink of the eye when compared to the infinite adoration I will give you, and that shall keep us together. We shall not crumble, we shall not fall. I promise you this, just as I promised the same to her last month, and her the month before that, and her the same last year.